Good evening. It is day 25. We are getting there, people. There are only 15 days left after today. Whew, that'll be kind of a big deal. And one day I might actually put makeup on again, or the other glasses. I have several pairs of glasses, as you can tell. So these are my old grainy ones that I think I've had since I was in my early 20s. I've had these forever. I typically wear contacts, and then I have prism lenses, and so that's why right now I don't even have my contacts in, so I certainly don't have my prisms in, but that's where all those glasses changes happen. But good evening. I have stepped out of my parents' house for the first time today onto the front porch just to not interrupt them, and they won't interrupt me. Mom said, "Oh, do not worry. I'm not thinking about trying to come across your podcast." I think she's a little intimidated by this, but Dad's still up, so I figured I'd just walk out here. Today, I've really enjoyed just resting. I was hurting more last night, but of course we had come home and I insisted on a shower and even tried to sit at the table for dinner, which was probably not the best idea. But so today I've laid fairly still, gotten up and walked a couple times, but I'm in this mood for these, these sappy movies. I watch It's a Wonderful Life. Now, of course, my tree is up already, so I am a little bit more moving towards Christmas, but it was really fun to watch It's a Wonderful Life. I haven't watched the whole thing in forever, and it got interrupted off and on, but I could pause it and do something else and come back to it. I have children. My boys are not as touchy-feely as I am, so they're not into that kind of movie the same way as I've always thought it was amazing. So it was really fun to sit there by myself and just relish it anew. And I thought I would just say this, if I can try to capture it into words. Some of you know me, some of you don't know me very well, but I'll tell you, all my life, I feel like I've got a little thread of what that main character, Jimmy Stewart, was going through in that movie. Just the feeling of my life needs to be beyond where it is. I want to be doing something beyond. I have something bigger that I need to do. From a little girl, I thought I would be a singer. My parents sang. It was natural for me to sing. I've always had had an easy time performing. Went off, got that vocal performance degree, did opera, and thought I was going to go on and get my music education degree. But all that changed with Jason. And it's funny how there have been many different touchstones in my life. Like I thought, okay, let's get through, this whole brain tumor thing. And then, of course, the kids will get older. And once I was widowed, okay, this will launch my ministry. My ministry will launch, And then it's like, I'll never forget the day Sam looked at me and goes, "Mom, I'd rather you be at home and us poor than you off doing a big job." And that changed my life. Instead of trying to do some more career job, I started teaching voice and piano at home, which I'd sworn I would never do. And so I've been teaching voice and piano ever since Sam, as a second grader, said, "I need you home, Mom." And then I got remarried. I always had it in my brain that when I got remarried, that there was just enough money to take care of my kids, and he'd have a job and benefits and all would be well, and we would, this would be it. I would go off and figure out my ministry. And I mean, like, the exact opposite happened. Not only did I end up sick and like my legs weren't working by the time Don and I married, but then he didn't have a job. He'd had a buyout at a job. And when he decided what to do, he opened a store, and for 8 years really didn't make, well, I guess it was 6. It was 6 years, didn't make much of an income. And that was so stressful and maddening to me. And of course, then I had to keep my same insurance. We didn't have a company insurance, the health insurance. And so a lot of money was thrown into that. And it just ate away at me. It was like, are you kidding? Like, not only did I get married and I'm sick, but now I feel like I got to keep working, and there were a lot of things I had to grapple with before heaven. And I just saw that today in that movie, how many times that he was like, "This is it. I'm going to launch." And he stayed and pressed into the people around him and pressed into the people that mattered, the community, and just did his little difference. He did what ended up, of course, perhaps in a sappy way, but boy, they illustrate well that your difference, the difference you make, can impact a lot of lives. And I don't know, I just enjoy watching that and being in this place where, man, one more surgery. I mean, going through an abdominal surgery, even though it's my back, they went through the front abdominally. So honestly, I just don't think I've ever had my core so affected by a surgery. It's like been my feet or it was my back, which hurts, but you still have your abdominal muscles working. To not have my abdominal muscles working very well and then to have all that hardware they just put in my back, it's an interesting mix. And it's not my favorite, unless I'm laying still watching It's a Wonderful Life. But I just know that the work God has done in me, and maybe I just wanted to kind of emphasize this again, that the fact that I'm able to be here and just say, Lord, not my will but yours, is just, it's not been an easy thing. It's not been an easy ride. I have had anguish, the kind of anguish that he showed at those moments of going, seriously, this isn't it yet? Seriously? I mean, do you know that I wrote the book, the one I've mentioned a couple times, The Great Undoing in My Journey Home. And about a year, I ended up having 2 surgeries immediately after that. And I was in bronchitis the whole summer. And I was so bummed that I hadn't been able to hit the road and make it happen. Like, this is it. I've written the book finally. This will be the moment. And it didn't happen. And I mean, it kind of happened. Don't get me wrong. Many of you were there and supported me, but it didn't create a road that expanded opportunities for me, I guess is the way to say it. So anyway, I went from there. It was Christmas. The book launched in like March. And at Christmas, somebody I don't see but once a year came up to me and she'd read it on her way to Georgia. And she said, Susan, don't give up on this book. Keep going. And so because of her, I sent it to this one agent that I knew, who's actually kind of a big deal agent, a great woman. And it took about a month or so, but she actually wrote me back. And she's like, she just emailed me off and on for 2 days. And I thought, I can't breathe. This is it. My life is going to change. And then you know what? It didn't happen. It didn't stay that way. Or she didn't sign me. Sorry, she didn't. She decided in the end that because I don't have enough of a Twitter following and I don't have enough of a platform. That's the big word that they use for writers, is that we need a platform to be able to make. But it's such a conundrum how you build it, how you build that enough to be recognized, to make it all happen. But whatever, that's not the point. The point is, that was another huge letdown that not a lot of people know about, that somebody read it and said, man, this is good. You're on to something. But man, you know what, I'm sorry, I've prayed about it for 2 weeks and I'm not going to sign you after all. And I just was crushed again. And, I've been through enough of those that it's weird. It's like, you said, I feel like that God uses a sort of divine chemotherapy. He has a way of it's that dying to self, resurrected in Him, dying to myself, but being resurrected in Him. It's almost like killing off. Sometimes it feels like He's killing off so much that you're really going to have nothing left, and it's a little scary, but then you kind of start coming back and you go, oh my gosh, there's a brand new me, and I think I like this me better. I think I like this person better. No wonder He did that or allowed that. And I can get to a place now where it's like, I really feel free of the need to do something, and more of the ability to be in that place where He says, hey, be still and know I am God. I will be exalted in the heavens. I will be exalted above the earth. And there's just something huge in the midst of all of this for me to just go, you're right. I'm going to be still right here, and I'm going to know that you are God. And I just pray for you tonight, anybody listening, that if you are struggling to be in that place, seek it. Keep going after it. Seek Him, you will find Him when you seek Him with all your heart. And then allow the disappointments to bring a resurrection. Try to see through them, to trust that there is something more. And, I'm not at the end of this. At the moment, my legs seem to be better than they've been. That could be a really big deal out of this surgery, but, it's a journey. We are all on a journey. And He's the one who knows the beginning and the end. But tonight, I'm just relishing that I can lay in bed in my parents' house here and just rest, just let it all go, and know that my value is in Him. My value is just in being His voice here, just for 12 hours with one shift of a hospital nurse, or with my kids who I try to, impact, or the few of you who listen to these podcasts, and I appreciate it. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be the go change the world. It can be change your community. It can be change the people around you. And anyway, I just value so much that He has worked through the disappointments to bring me to that place of peace, that it's His deal. It's not mine. It's His. If He needs me, He's going to use me. He's going to find me. He knows right where I am. And otherwise, I can just keep doing what I'm doing and enjoy it, and not always carry the angst of unfulfillment. Maybe that's it. I had carried the angst of unfulfillment. And He's saying, would you let that go and trust me with the story I'm writing for you? Because my story, kind of like Jimmy Stewart's, has been very different than the one I thought it would be. But He says, that's okay. Trust me. Go back to bed, Susan, and watch feel-good movies. And that's what I'm going to do again tomorrow. But my husband is bringing me a Starbucks in the morning, so looking forward to that. All right, y'all, this is day 25, and I'm going to go back inside before I get any colder than I am right now. And I just pray that you feel the abundance of Jesus just deep in your soul, and that the peace that passes understanding is with you as you walk into the holidays and with family and friends. And I pray that you just have a God-filled time with Him. All righty, till tomorrow. Bye.